Welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about my spring and early summer TBR list. To start with, I wanted to just list off the Discworld books that I'm planning on reading because of the buddy read in the Discord server I'm in. If you've watched any of my other vlogs, you know that I'm currently reading Moving Pictures. It's basically a play on Hollywood, essence of Hollywood, escapes whatever imprisonment it was in, and it starts giving these alchemists the idea of how to make moving pictures using like imps and other random methods that are not magical to make these moving pictures. And also like little funny things like making popcorn, but they call it banged grains. So there's a lot of funny little things like that. But you get the impression that something bad's going to happen, obviously. And then the next one I'm going to read after that is called Pyramids. I honestly don't know a ton about it. I know it's set in like the part of the Discworld where the pyramids are, but past that I don't actually know because I haven't read the overview yet. Those are the two that I need to get caught up to where the buddy read is at. After that, the next book is going to be Small Gods, which is a sequel to Pyramids, and again I haven't even read the blurb about it, so I don't want to like delve into everything. And then the last Discworld book I'll need to read to stay caught up is called Witches Abroad. It's going to be another book in the Witches series, if that, shouldn't surprise you. And again, I have not even read that, but I'm hoping at least Granny Weatherwax will be in there, because she's cool. But past the Discworld books, there's a few other group reads that I'm in on the Discord server that I'm in, the book club Discord server. And that is continuing the Book of the New Sun series. I read the first book last month, or finished it last month, called The Shadow of the Torturer. And the premise of that one was there's this guild of torturers, and the main character is growing up in this guild, and then at one point when he's older, he is taking care of this one prisoner that he kind of falls in love with and then takes pity on, which is like a big no-no. So you will follow his adventure after he gets exiled from this guild and on his journey afterwards. So then Claw of the Conciliator is the next one. So there's this device, or this gem, or whatever he finds, called the Claw of Conciliator, and has like certain powers. So I'm assuming that it's going to be focused on the results of having this relic. And then the last book is called The Sword of the Lictor. So whenever I get to that, I'll read that. And then another buddy read that I'm in is for the Wheel of Time. So I read the first book a few months ago, and then I got kind of behind on the rest of the series just with life and other books. So I'm in the second book, The Great Hunt. I am on chapter 16, which is about page 244. So I have started it. I might need to review exactly what happened again just real quick before I pick it back up. But the first book in the Wheel of Time series is called The Eye of the World, which, like I said, I've already read. The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass. What was, what will be, and what is may yet fall under the shadow. Let the dragon ride again on the winds of time. When I was little, I read the Aragon series, and I kind of get like vibes from that mixed with like Lord of the Rings. So since there's like, there's like a little farmer boy who becomes like this big hero. So you kind of get that. That happens to Rand and his buddies. They all lived up on the same like farm community. And it's just like a huge epic journey. There's like big bad guy, kind of like Sauron, So there's a lot of like parallels to Lord of the Rings, which some people dislike, but I think it's fun. And I really love these new paperbacks. They have the original artwork kind of on there. I mean, it's obviously smaller, but like they fold so easily. So I really like these paperbacks. I have up to book 4. So book 3 being the Dragon Reborn, and then book 4 being The Shadow Rising. And man, this one's so much thicker than the other ones. Just look at him. Look how much bigger this boy is. But that's fine. So yeah, I'm a little behind on that buddy read, but once I get into it, I think I'll catch up because I think they're pretty fun to like get sucked into. And then if I have time, I am also in a Lord of the Rings buddy read. I have already read the book several times, so I'm kind of not like rushing myself into it, but I read or I listened to The Hobbit a few months ago, the new audiobook by Andy Serkis. So that's really fun. I got the other books in the series with Andy Serkis, so it's really fun to hear him do all the voices, and obviously he does a perfect Gollum, so got that. Some people complain about his singing, but it's fine. The original audiobook is really good too. I can't remember the guy's name, but I have also listened to those audiobooks, and it's really good. Past all those like buddy reads, we can get into my actual personal picks that I want to get to this season. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Walden by Henry David Thoreau. I mean, I'm sure you've all heard of this book. I got this several years ago. It's like, there's photography by a guy named Scott Miller. It's really pretty, so like you get like, you know, pages like this, or well, just in general, it's like forest pictures. And I thought maybe by getting this I would actually read it, because I kept meaning to, but I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I really want to. I mean, it seems like a nice contemplative spring read since it's like nature and all that. Planning on getting to it this season. But yeah, I mean, everyone kind of probably has heard of it from like school and whatnot. So, you know, he just, Thoreau is spending all his time for several years like in the woods all by himself, and he contemplates things. So I think I could definitely use that. I haven't had a thoughtful book in a long time. Another book that I want to get to that's been really popular lately, and basically all the booktubers I watch have read this book already, so I want to get on the bandwagon, and that is Piranesi. Again, not a surprise. Most people have heard this, and it's supposed to be really eclectic, very weird, and kind of a mystery. I heard it's best to go into it not even really reading up on it, like just pick it up. I mean, the character is named after a guy that existed in real life, and he was basically an architect, and he would draw up like intricate prisons, but also just, I think he did some artwork just on his own. And this one is, I think, based on like some of his work where there's a bunch of like statues in like a corridor, like just packed in with all this detail. So I think that's what this is gonna be like based on, like the environment is. So yeah, I'm just not even going to read into it more. I just want to pick it up and see how I like it. And then I also want to get to a few romances this spring and this early summer. I think I'm going to pick up the newest release that everyone's raving about called Book Lovers. I just requested it from the library, so hopefully I can get it soon. But yeah, I mean, it's two people who work in the publishing industry, and they like kind of dislike each other, but then they're like forced to work with each other a little bit. So it's kind of like a enemies to lovers. But I've heard that it's not like over dramatic with like the hate. It's just like annoyance. But I heard it's super cute, and I am all for it. And then the next one I want to read, because it's summery, is Beach Read, because I've also heard great things. I really don't know much about it, just that there's a beach, and honestly I don't know if I care. It sounds like a perfect read for this sunny weather, and this week it's finally sunny, so I'm hoping we are actually in the warm weather season. It's basically been raining and snowing since the beginning of the year, which is obnoxious. And then I also want to get to a book called Neon Gods. I heard it's extremely steamy, which might be fun because I haven't had anything that was like that intense. But so it's kind of like a retelling of like the relationship between Hades and Persephone. Persephone's like, basically she's just running away from the politics of the Olympians, who wouldn't, right? And she finds refuge in hell, with Hades, because, you know, the gods don't go there really. And Hades also has it against the gods, so it's like a perfect hiding place. And then apparently they fall in love. So it sounds like a good time. That's all I'm here for. Noelle on YouTube highly recommended it, so I'm good for it. And if I do enjoy it, I might look up the next books. There's at least the second one out right now. And I might get into more romances, but at least those three I was thinking about doing next. After those, I also want to get into like a more serious book with some feelings. You've probably heard of this one as well. It's really popular. A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. I haven't read anything by him yet, but I keep meaning to. And I own this one, and I have access to Beartown as well, but I think I want to read this one first. So it's about an old man who's super grumpy. You know, he has his own routines, and he just does what he, you know, does every day, and he gets grumpy if anything affects his routine. But he gets a little shaken up when new neighbors move in, and there's a chatty young couple with two boisterous little girls. I don't know if they're little, but they announced their arrival by accidentally flattening his mailbox. So I'm sure that made him extremely upset. But it's supposed to be super heartfelt, a little bit sad at the end, or maybe even during it, I'm not sure. But a few people that I watch on YouTube have cried on it, So I haven't had a book that I've cried at for a long time because I kind of been reading, Discworld books and some like fantasies and self-help, which isn't really like teary-eyed usually. So I'm looking forward to another literary fiction because I don't read a ton of literary fiction, but I would like to read more. Another book I want to get to because it's been recommended by the Book Leo and also some of my friends, and that is The Yellow Wallpaper. So it's basically this lady who somewhat recently gave birth and is going through postpartum depression. And back then, depression they thought would be solved by being locked in your room and doing nothing. So the only thing she has to keep herself occupied is staring at this intricate yellow wallpaper. I'm guessing that this book cover is like kind of representing what the wallpaper looks like, which I would be interested to stare at that, but I don't know for her months and months at a time. I've heard that watching this woman becoming insane because she's just doing nothing, staring at this wallpaper, is like pretty chilling. And it's only like 63 pages, so it should be like an afternoon read kind of thing, which I'm for. I really have not read like any short stories since like school, and since it's so highly rated, I want to give it a go. Another book recommendation by the Book Leo is Howl's Moving Castle. It's supposed to be very whimsical and adventure-y. I think it might even be YA. So there's like witches and adventure and spells. This little girl, Sophie, the main character, unwittingly attracts the ire of the Witch of the Waste. Sophie finds herself under a horrid spell that transforms her into an old lady. Her only chance at breaking it lies in the ever-moving castle in the hills, the wizard's Howl's castle. To untangle the enchantment, Sophie must handle the heartless Howl, strike a bargain with a fire demon, and meet the Witch of the West head-on. So, it sounds really fun and whimsical, and I mean, just look at this little house. I mean, that's kind of crazy looking. That's fun. I think there are 3 in this series, so if I really like it, I have like a short series that I can get into. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. And then I'm going to end off with the project that I have where I'm reading through some of my mom's books that I went through after she passed. And if you've watched my other vlogs, you already know that I am reading through God and the Evolving Universe. I haven't read more since I last talked about it, but I am in the last section. There's like 3 parts. So I got like maybe, was it 100 pages? About 100 pages. It's kind of talking about the evolution of like human consciousness and like spiritually, like how religions have changed and feed off of each other and like evolved. It also talks about like supernatural powers that people supposedly have or have developed, and it's pretty interesting. The last section is called Participating, so I'm gonna guess it is talking more about like almost how to do these things or how people have done them. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely finish that first before I start anything else for my mom's books, but I have two or three more that I'm going to try to get to. So one of them is called Mandela's Way. It is written by Richard Stengel, but the preface is by Nelson Mandela. It's 15 lessons on life, love, and courage. I read Nelson Mandela's like biography in college, and I really liked that, so I think I could get some good use out of this. And like the words are kind of big inside, so I don't think it's going to take that long to get through. It looks like it would be a good time. Hopefully enlightening. And then there's this book called Enchanted Ground, The Spirit Room of Jonathan Koons by Sharon Hatfield. This seems like it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure exactly, but it might be technically an historical fiction. So it says Sharon Hatfield brings to life the true story of a 19th century farmer turned medium, Jonathan Koons, who was a dynamic spiritualist performer in the antebellum United States. In the hills outside Athens, Ohio, a place whose reputation as haunted persists to this day, Koons built a house where it is said the dead spoke to the living and where ancient spirits communicated the wisdom of the ages. Curious visitors in homespun and in city attire traveled from as far as New Orleans to his remote Appalachian cabin, whose marvels would rival any of P.T. Burnham's attractions. So, that seems pretty fun. I've never read anything about the story of any medium that has existed. I honestly don't know much about them at all. So I think it might be cool to like get this like perspective and a little bit of a history background for something like this. I mean, it even has like pictures. Here's like Koons Cemetery pictures. So it seems like it's going to be cool and it hopefully entertaining as well as informative. So looking forward to that. And then this last book is kind of short, so I might just throw it in there. It's called The Three Questions by Don Miguel Ruiz. I read The Four Agreements by him, and I enjoyed it. So it's the same like size as the other book. There's only like not even 200 pages, and it's like small, you know, kind of small, and the words are like kind of big. So I should be able to read that in like a day if I have, you know, if I start at the beginning of the day. I wanted to get through all these because she like had them all, so it seemed like she really loved them. So I like to relate to her, I guess, in that way. Obviously, past all those books, the book club that I'm in will be picking books for each month. So like the book this month was the Thursday Murder Club, which I just finished reading. I can leave a link to that if you want to watch me read it, but they're going to be picking books for each month. Next month, the theme is gay stories. I think it could be either a story about characters that are gay, or I think it might even be okay to nominate something from like a gay author, which is cool. And there's some good choices on there that I might even like save more than one. So yeah, that's what I got for my immediate TBR, my spring and early summer. If I somehow get all that done early, I can make another video, I suppose. But so I'm gonna leave you there, and I will see you in another video. Bye.